Hey everyone, and welcome to Just Love's Chat Space. My name is Paula, and I'm here with Judy. Hi, Judy.
Hi Paula, hi everyone.
Today we're going to talk about free will and the December solstice. Judy, you've talked before about how the Zetas live by God's will and we live by free will. Can you unpack that a little more for us?
Yes, Paula. As we've explained before, Earth is a school planet, and for souls new to the human kingdom, so free will down here is very much designed as an ultimate test, like an end-of-year school exam, to test whether students are ready to be promoted up to the next grade or not. Operating through free will is like the well-known cartoon image of somebody with an angel sitting on one shoulder and a devil sitting on the other shoulder, both urging them to make a choice between right and wrong. This choice is ultimately between caring about and considering others or taking the self-centred me choice. In higher planetary cultures like the Zetas, who operate solely through God's will, this just doesn't apply. Everybody always acts for the good of all, and everyone benefits. There's no dog-eat-dog or survival of the fittest mindset, as there often is down here. Everyone is cared for, nobody starves or goes homeless, and there's plenty for everyone. Again, it involves making the choice between being a love or fear-oriented society. It's fear that causes people to be defensive and self-centred and to erect barriers between themselves and others.
That sounds lovely. However, we're living on a planet that was hijacked millions of years ago, and we've been controlled by the controllers for all of this time through subliminal messages. They're everywhere, desensitizing through movies that Hollywood has been putting out forever. All of those games that children play, yes, got to get them young and brainwash them to fight and compete. These things are just to name a few, and yes, this is the world in which we live. And yet we have free will. Yes, we absolutely do, as Judy would say, and yes, everything is playing out perfectly. As we've been discussing, things are changing. We are living in significant and interesting times, but we always have a choice, and that choice is between love and fear.
It sure is. And speaking of brainwashing through movies, I heard years ago about how all the Hollywood film scripts are censored by some big brother organisation, the CIA I think it is, hence the racist type portrayals of good guys and bad guys, white hats and black hats. And of course the goodies are always stereotyped, as are the baddies. 9 out of 10 times 2 movies about so-called aliens always portray them as bad and ugly. I recall getting a good laugh out of a movie years ago. I think it was entitled Mars Attacks, and the only way the terrible aliens could be defeated was by somebody driving around in an old pickup truck playing country and western music through a loudspeaker. All I can say is, as an ET living down here in an Earth-human container, when I heard the country and western music being played, I nearly died, laughing. However, yes, on a more serious note, xenophobic-related fear is being fed to us right from early childhood. Hopefully, as we mature, we begin to wake up to the fact that different doesn't automatically mean bad or evil.
Yeah, unity and diversity. So did they think that they were going to kill the aliens by playing the country and western music? Is that what they thought?
Yeah, and they did. They just melted sort of the side of the road. They all turned into puddles.
Oh, country music fans wouldn't like that. So anyway, what we're being asked to do is live in a free will planet using a God's will consciousness. And that's a big ask. Is it one of the reasons why planet Earth is being referred to as a school planet?
Definitely. Earth is a planet of vast contrasts and polarity, with marvellous opportunities to learn that variety is the spice of life, and that means respecting others, even if they look or think differently. This is where an acceptance of reincarnation is so important, to be consciously aware of the fact that we've all lived multiple lives in different nationalities and religions. This in turn helps us to have more empathy and respect for other fellow humans sharing the planet with us. It introduces a sense of much deeper oneness rather than focusing on divisiveness and difference.
Yeah, so how do we do it? It's about coming back into your body and feeling your body, Your body is the barometer of yourself. Your body is your vehicle. Your body is your container. We've been used to using our mind and intellect, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's now time to move into the body and feel it. Come from your heart space first. Coming more fully from the heart really is something new for us here on earth because of what we've been discussing with all of the control that's been present. Would you agree?
Yes, Paula, we really do need to move and evolve past third and even fourth dimension sensing and start shifting our awareness up into 5D intuiting. The problem is many still can't do this. Even some so-called psychics can't feel or sense beyond 4D. I'm really seeing this now with the vast amount of disinformation being put out and so many being fooled by it. We really do need to see past all the claims and counterclaims being made and feel deeply into our own heart as to whether we really trust what others are saying and the claims they're making or not.
Yeah, so much information.
Yes.
And the bottom line is that we all want to feel loved. We all want to feel acknowledged. We want to be seen and heard, and we want to be understood. Who we really are is divine light. Divine light experiencing itself in a human body. That's who and what we truly are, divine light in a human body. We know this. We all know this on some deeper level, but we still feel inadequate. We still feel vulnerable. And this is all part of a journey. It's our soul's journey of evolution. There will always be lessons involved in this journey, and those lessons aren't easy right now. So of course there will always be ups and downs. Judy, can you share with us a little of what you see when you're working up on the ship? Humanity is waking up more and more, and it's not always easy like we've been saying. So we wanted to know if you can verify or confirm that we're on the right track. So from your ET perspective, what do you see?
Okay, people are waking up. We can see and feel that, and the majority of Earth humans are good, decent people. The problem is it's the negative minority who have the loudest voices and who drown everyone else out. They're the ones who feature in the news because the media thrives on negativity, drama and fear. It's the negative minority who talk over the top of everyone else, who are the bullies, who spread the lies and the false claims and the gossip. We can really see this being played out in the run-up to these elections. Politics, like religion, tends to bring out the worst in human nature.
Yeah.
It's the negative, self-centred ones who make the big show, suck people in and pull others down to their level, or at least they try to. We can see way too many people are being fooled by such personalities. But herein lies the test. Do you get sucked in, or do you see past all the outer show and see them for what they really are? They do have their role in society as very efficient testers of human intuition, which is a requisite for further evolution on Earth right now.
Yeah, I really think that, I'm just going to read that again, where you say they do have their role in society as very efficient testers of human intuition, which is a requisite for further evolution on Earth right now. I think that's really important to put that out there.
It's really important to understand that.
Because it really is a trying time for us.
Yeah.
Like, we want to stand up and we want to speak our truth more and more, but to do this, we must be brave enough to walk our talk. If we want to be seen and heard, we have to do this in the best possible way. The problem is we've been conditioned to place so many boundaries around and within ourselves, mentally and emotionally, so we only show a small part of who we truly are. We've been living our lives within the boundaries that we've created emotionally and mentally, and now we're being physically kept in boundaries due to this pandemic. Things are shifting though, and it's like we're peeping out from behind the veil, just that tiny little bit more.
Yes, Paula, the pandemic is working for us in this because people tend to live busy, distracted lives that don't allow for enough self-reflection and the spiritual development that's required to enable us to stand up and show ourselves at our best and most authentic. Our work and education systems tend to stifle this in so many people, which causes deep frustration and self-doubt. I know we all have to work in order to live, but it's so easy and tempting to allow your life to become so overwhelmingly busy that the deeper values are lost. The pandemic and lockdown have forced many people to come right back to simplicity and basics, learning to put family and loved ones before work and money making. How much easier has it been in some cases to work quietly from home rather than having to face the frantic commute to work every day? And what a break it can be to get away from the gossip, time wasting and bullying that so often happens in the workplace. Yes, I know many people have been impacted deeply and not always positively, but many old values have been revived. Yes, physical boundaries may apply, but this enables more time for deeper freedom and exploration.
Yeah. So this pandemic is a reflection of how we've been living our life. And like you say, it's a wake-up call to finally open our eyes and see how we can show up more physically as well as emotionally and mentally. We now have the collective consciousness physically placing boundaries on us. And like I see this also as being done for us to come to a realization that it really is time to be vulnerable. And like when I say that, I mean being vulnerable means to show up 100% with no judgment and no attachment. Just standing up and being who you really are. You are divine light. And yes, you are in a human body experiencing that divine light. Try to see this as the gift that it truly is.
Yes, the challenge is to move beyond the physical boundaries and come to the realisation that we're more than that. We are unlimited spiritual beings, and the physical confinement is pushing us to finally acknowledge this fact. The confinements being forced upon us by the pandemic remind me of the confinement tests that shamans and other spiritual seekers are put through as part of their training. These tests are designed to push the seeker into acknowledging and strengthening the deeper non-physical aspects of their being, and to enable them to come face to face with self without all the outer distractions. This causes huge problems for some, but it's a challenge that must be mastered before further evolution can take place. This is all part of our training and preparation for the shift from fourth to fifth world consciousness. Not going up to 6 yet.
No.
What does disappoint us
Not
from
yet.
the off-planet perspective is the number of people who just cannot stand to be alone, who need the constant distraction of others around them. It's like they can't handle their own company.
Yeah. So I like the way you say like we're in training, because when we have that concept that we're in training, the new lessons and understanding are certainly being learnt on earth, and we do always have free will. So getting back to how free will is playing out right now, it's not about what anyone is telling you. It's not about whether it's right or wrong. It is about the fear behind it, and remembering that the fear is what is controlling us. So what we have to do is ask ourselves the question, what is behind the initial reaction I'm experiencing from what they're telling me? How do I really feel about what I'm being told? And how do we do this? We observe, we see the narrative, and we ask ourselves, how do we know that this is true? Where are they getting their information from? We don't have to tap into it. We don't have to buy into the fear that we're being fed. There is another timeline. There is still a choice. We have free will, and that's what free will means. It means having the freedom to choose something else rather than what you are being told by somebody else, even though this is what we've been programmed to do for the entire time that we've been here on Earth.
In other words, we have to stop acting like sheeple and passively believe everything that we're being told. We really do need to stop buying into all the anger and fear. So much of this is being purposely fed to us to keep us at a low energy frequency, to block us from evolving to a higher level. In actual fact, we can do way more for our Mother Earth and humanity by just keeping ourselves in a place of compassionate non-attachment than by being pulled every which way and buying into all the fear and drama. That doesn't help anybody, including yourself. The bottom line is we create our own reality through the way we think, and it's not just us saying that. We're backed scientifically by quantum physics and also by wise ones from ages and times past who lived by these words. Let's throw in a couple of quotes here for good measure, starting with Mahatma Gandhi. Be the change you wish to see in the world. And Lao Tzu, if you want to awaken all of humanity, then awaken all of yourself. If you want to eliminate the suffering in the world, then eliminate all that is dark and negative in yourself. Truly, the greatest gift you have to give is that of your own self-transformation.
Yeah, that's nice. Gotta love those quotes, Judy. I've been hearing a lot of talk about how the higher dimensional beings need our help now, because what is happening here on Earth, on the Earth plane, is very intense. We've spoken about how higher dimensional beings have been assisting us regarding this shift in consciousness, and it's to the point now where we, the planet of Earth, have to step up even more. Would you agree with that?
For sure, Paula. And those quotes from Gandhi and Lao Tzu, who were both from off-planet, by the way, answer that question perfectly. It is absolutely up to humanity itself. The off-planet people can only do what we're doing here in our Just Love episodes. That is, trying to assist people to wake up enough to help themselves. To repeat, be the change you wish to see in the world. Nobody else can do it for you. Earth humans are creating their own reality through the way they think and act, or are being brainwashed into thinking and acting. The genuine ETs cannot and would not control people's minds to force them to act in a certain way. We can only advise, and those of us down here in Earth human form need to walk our talk. As I've said before, even if the ET folk could flick a switch and fix everything down here, it would all revert back into chaos if humanity cannot heal itself of fear.
And as we step up even more and come into our true self, we're really feeling like we're trudging through the mud and moving through the mire, because we are moving through. We are not stuck. We are moving, and that's why we're feeling it so intensely.
That's for sure. The transformation and ascension process is not easy. Another quote by John Maxwell says it all. If we're growing, we're always going to be out of our comfort zone.
You're on fire today with these quotes.
I'm really going well with them. And another classic, another one by Sri Chinmoy. Some seekers will do anything for self-realisation except work for it.
Yeah.
Even those of us who are star folks living down here have to put in the hard work. I know you, Paula, have put in years of work and dedication and spent an awful lot of money on books, study courses, etc. Just to let our listeners know, Paula has even earned a degree in theology from the Australian Catholic University. This is a THL degree that priests and other ministers of religion have to have. And I know you've done other study as well to get you to where you are now. Yeah. Both of us are trained in Reiki to master level, which, if done properly and correctly, takes years. I've undergone years of training to become a Tai Chi instructor and spent more years in a closed meditation development group. It sure hasn't just happened for us. We've needed to do a lot of work to get us where we are now.
That's for sure. Okay, Judy, we have the solstice coming up on the 21st of December, and there's been a lot of talk about how significant this particular solstice will be. The ancients have always utilised the power of these solar gateways, and this one coming up is no exception. In fact, Judy, you have some very interesting and important information on it. This information is going to assist in lightening us up. At least I think it will, because when Judy and I spoke about this last week, I was really excited about it. It's something that we can do, knowing that we are making a difference.
Yes, there sure is a very significant solstice coming up this year on that date, December the 21st, and our Indigenous people are speaking a lot about it. The culture of the original Australians, the so-called Aboriginals, goes back much further than is generally acknowledged. In fact, in the words of an Australian Aboriginal elder, who I quote in my Extraterrestrial Presence on Earth book, they say we have been here for 60,000 years, but it is much longer. We have lived and kept the earth as it was on the first day. All other peoples in the world came from us. In other words, they're the original people. Just going back to Paula's education at the Catholic University, she was lucky enough to be able to study Indigenous spirituality there. They actually had a course in it, which was lovely, wasn't it, Paula?
I loved it. I learnt so much. Yeah, it was really good.
I just love that a Catholic Christian university will put so much respect towards Indigenous spirituality. That shows the world is changing and growing.
Yeah, that's for sure.
This is what we see from upstairs. People are growing. Yeah. I've visited and meditated at several of the sacred sites here in Australia, including Uluru, which is known in other countries as Ayers Rock, Katajuta, Carroll and Wollumban. I spent some magic time meditating in a cave beneath Uluru. All I can say is the energy in these places is beyond words. I've written about this in my ET Presence book if people are interested in reading more. Okay, here is what the original law keepers are putting out on the meditation to be held on the 21st of December 2020. It is entitled Message from Uluru. Dear brothers and sisters, please read this entire message carefully. I have been instructed to provide clarity for a specific shared intention for the ceremony on the 21st of December 2020. This is the intention given directly by the original people law keepers. These are their words. We need to be truly focused on a singular, focused, specific thought, feeling and intention. The purpose of this ceremony is for the rainbow serpent to become the rainbow bridge, to rise up to connect with the light of the sun and go straight into the heart of Mother Earth, cleansing, energising and reinvigorating Mother Earth and ushering in a new era of consciousness for Mother and her children. To be clear, the focus is on Mother Earth, not on ourselves. We need to focus on reinvigorating Mother Earth and raising her consciousness. If this ceremony is supported by enough pure love, energy and support of the shared specific intention, it will be successful. The byproduct of a successful ceremony will be the new era of consciousness for Mother Earth and her children, us. We need to ensure our focus and love is on her, Mother Earth, and on this specific intention. With a cleansed body, heart, mind and soul, the intention is a pure love for Mother in our heart as we ask to energise the heart of Mother Earth with our love and energy. With this pure intention, you can contribute to the energy of the ceremony from wherever you are in such a positive way. You need not be at Uluru. You can do this from afar and it will make a huge difference. It is the energy the ceremony needs to be able to work. They went on and provided some more advice, particularly if you're sitting on the earth when doing this meditation, and it can be done up to the 21st of December. It doesn't have to just be done on the day. The more we can put in beforehand, the better. Their instruction is to acknowledge the land and create a circle. Somebody then begins by tapping on the ground 6 times with both hands, going anti-clockwise around the circle. The next person joins in by tapping 6 times, and they keep going until everyone has joined in. Once everyone has done this, another 6 taps are done by everyone as a complete circle. This would be so grounding, particularly if it was done outside.
Yeah, sounds really good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Something that we'll have to do. And when you were reading that intention, it reminded me of something that I wanted to ask you, Judy, and it's this. How can we feel the sheer joy and delight that you would have felt dancing with the Indigenous people of America in your light body? Before Judy's ship crashed in her last life, which she remembers, she had the opportunity to visit with the American Indigenous people and danced with them in her light body. And I think doing this meditation would be a good start to get some kind of a sense of how you would have felt. So to do something for our Mother Earth, really I can't think of anything better. I just think it sounds so healing, and to be a part of this meditation would be so amazing.
Yeah, Paula, for our ship's crew to be out of our bodies back then and even just connecting with the people felt amazing, let alone joining in with the dancing. Even the touching of each other's bodies was, it was such a connecting sort of lovely ceremonial time. Maybe some who join in this time will have some sort of out-of-body experience. Yeah. When we did an earlier ceremony this year for that other major planetary convergence back in January, I think it was, we played a CD of didgeridoo music, which really assisted the process. The didge is such a magical instrument.
Yeah, that's right. Wow, well that ceremony when you did in January certainly set off some major events and a massive cleansing for Mother Earth. So maybe this ceremony will bring settling and closure. So on that note, we send all of our love, blessings
and big hugs from both of us to
all of
you. Bye.
Bye.